Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're talking about everything feminine related, period. Period and periods. And the fact that I will throw a little piece in there that a lot of men don't understand the cycle that women go through. It's super important if you're raising a boy child to teach about periods, about the emotionality also that comes with a cycle, with the different phases, age appropriate, of course. I don't think they teach this in depth in schools unless you're doing a science track or something. Even then, it's like over their heads. Okay, I'll come back and put my take. Let me know your thoughts on everything periods.
Topics that need to be talked about, part 1. So the first topic that I will be speaking about is periods. For some people, they may ask, what is a period? A period is a monthly bleeding from the womb through the vagina. And in medical terms, we call it menstruation. In my opinion, I think periods should be talked about and shouldn't be a topic that is taboo in people's minds. Next question. When should you get your period? From what I've read from science research, it says you should get your period from ages 9 to 16. However, before that, some girls may experience some sticky discharge in their knickers for a few months, and that is normal. You may start your period and then not get another period for 6 months. Why? This is so your body can come up with a regular pattern for your period. If it doesn't and you're worried, contact your GP. Next question. How long should a period last? It could last from 3 to 8 days, and the flow is different for every single girl. You may feel like you're losing a lot of blood in your period, but don't worry, because you're not. It's scientifically proven that on average it's only 6 to 8 teaspoons of blood for every girl. I hope you enjoyed!
So what's your period story? From everything, from embarrassment. I remember, growing up, I remember having the talk with my mom. It just came on and I freaked out. And it was very traumatic. I mean, I have a daughter now, so I actually did have the whole talk. We constantly talk about the cycle and different the different times of the cycle, or the different phases of the cycle. So it's a phase, it's circular, it's beautiful. But knowing and journaling, even for me, like 40 something, I think maybe late in my 30s, before I start having the awakening about the connection between times when maybe I'm more emotional, or maybe where I'm a little more ink, or I'm a little more like depressed or sad, or where I'm a little more, hey, I can conquer the world type of feeling, but not like in a crazy way, but more like yourself, more light, happy. But these are things that we women go through month after month. I remember when my daughter had her period, she was like, Mommy, you didn't tell me I have to have this every month. I said, honey, yep, it's every month. And the pain and watching your diet and exercising and making sure, you're not flipping out and you're showing up well with school. And if you with school and career and work and da-da-da-da, it's so important to journal, like get an app or a calendar. Know exactly when you're going to be in the different phases and how your emotions show up with it. I literally will have patients or clients who will literally think they're losing it. And I tell them, hey, match it, watch it. No, you think this phase that you're feeling, because sometimes you're like crying so much, you're losing it, you're not yourself. And then 2 days later you have it and you're like, oh, that's what it was. Or you're like literally like red bear, right in my kids, and I was like, oh, is your red bear coming? Maybe, but I know to remove myself, to put myself somewhere, to eat better, to exercise, to go heavy on the weights, to get sunshine, to hydrate, to eat wholesome foods, take care of myself, drink water. Because period is a big deal. We don't talk about it. And that, in addition to having babies and how it changes you even more, and have a life on top of having that, on top of having trauma and ADHD and all of the stuff, having anxiety impact, and top of having hormone changes associated with period, is a whole lot of women. A lot of men, young men, completely don't have any understanding of it. I remember swallowing myself even in public places. I've become very conversant about knowing exact brand of stuff to use during that time. So well, and cleaning and keeping pH balance and taking probiotic and prebiotic and female probiotic and keeping everything. It's a lot. And men, all they care about, I gotta get the thing between your legs. But what comes with it and how to nurture the person, the heart of the person. I remember going through fertility treatment, and one of the treatments that I had to go through, I had to do a biopsy, different things to check the lining, because I was on birth control for a long time, so it thinned my lining. That was one of the reasons why we were having multiple miscarriages, and sometimes some of the reasons that leads me to grieving was the way my ex left, despite all the things that we had to go through it. But healing that is so important to me. But I throw that in there to say a lot of men really don't understand what we've had to go through and put up with, to go through every month, to have their babies, to take care of the home. They take it so for granted. They misuse and abuse women, and it's just not okay, and it's not right. This is what I do. But it was so painful. I remember I was shaking. Oh, he's not available, working, blah, blah, blah. But I'll be there mostly on my own because, hey, girl gotta do what a girl gotta do. Screaming, pain, being anxious, going through the process. I'm like, is there any pain medicine? Oh my God, it hurt. Some of those biopsies they do, the ablations, the different things, even some of birth controls. I remember being on birth control because I didn't want to have another child right away, because I wanted to go to my higher education, because I kind of put two and two together. I saw what had happened to people. I'm like, no, I got to secure my stuff before I even consider having a second or third. But even some of the insertions of birth control, the IUDs, so painful. I remember it being so painful. And sometimes even periods, if you're having clotting or period pain, is so painful. If you're having to endure endometriosis, so painful. Fibroid, cyst, so painful. Ladies, let's collectively take care of ourselves. Let's teach our daughters. Let's also teach our sons. They're gonna have girlfriends, fiancés, and wives. I'm not going to go too long because I don't want to lose my video. Let me know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. Okay, bye.
I talk about irregular periods all the time, so people want to know, what is a regular period? First of all, you have to know when your period starts. And generally, even though some people may have a day or two of spotting prior to your period, we consider full flow the first day of your period. Even if you start your period and then you realize, oh, well, I was spotting yesterday, the first day of full flow counts as day one. A normal cycle length is anywhere from 21 to 35 days. And by cycle length, I mean the first day of one period to the first day of the next period. So cycles that are shorter than 21 days or longer than 35 days are considered abnormal. If your cycle length varies greatly from month to month, that also could be considered irregular. This month you have a cycle that's 22 days, and then next month you have a cycle that's 34 days. To me, that's still considered irregular, even though you're falling within that normal range. Cycles should be mostly the same length, plus or minus 2 days from month to month.
Today on Things My Mama Should Have Told Me, we're going to talk about the menstrual cycle, and this is per request by one of my followers. What is a menstrual cycle? Basically, you can get a period, menstrual cycle, as early as 9 years old. It is the time that your body is telling you, hey, you have transitioned from little girl to a woman. You now get a period. You can become pregnant now. So if you are sexually active and you don't want to have a baby, make sure you are using protection. A period is when an egg is released and it does not get fertilized. So the womb, the lining of the uterus, doesn't need to prepare itself for a fertilized egg. So it basically dissolves all of the blood and tissue that is in the lining of the uterus, and it comes out as blood in a period form. It lasts from 4 to 7 days. It just depends on your body. Some people believe that you cannot get pregnant during your period. Yes, you can get pregnant during your period, so be careful.
Topics that need to be talked about, part 1. So the first topic that I will be speaking about is periods. For some people, they may ask, what is a period? A period is a monthly bleeding from the womb through the vagina. And in medical terms, we call it menstruation. In my opinion, I think periods should be talked about and shouldn't be a topic that is taboo in people's minds. Next question. When should you get your period? From what I've read from science research, it says you should get your period from ages 9 to 16. However, before that, some girls may experience some sticky discharge in their knickers for a few months, and that is normal. You may start your period and then not get another period for 6 months. Why? This is so your body can come up with a regular pattern for your period. If it doesn't and you're worried, contact your GP. Next question. How long should a period last? It could last from 3 to 8 days, and the flow is different for every single girl. You may feel like you're losing a lot of blood in your period, but don't worry, because you're not. It's scientifically proven that on average it's only 6 to 8 teaspoons of blood for every girl. I hope you enjoyed!
The first step to healing your menstrual cycle, healing your period problems, healing your feminine reproductive issues, and healing your hormones naturally is believing that you are not broken. That is the very first step. So I want you to say, I can heal myself. I am not broken. We've been taught as women that we are broken, that we have all of these issues, and that it's a bad thing to be a woman. It's a bad thing to bleed, and that is so far from the truth. So the first step is believing that you are not broken. And I accidentally healed my hormones, so I'm able to tell you exactly how to do it, but it was just something that came along the way on my healing journey because I first started trying to heal my chronic illness. So I started really focusing on what I put into my body and what I put on my body. Kids are going to Bath and Body Works and putting all this stuff on our bodies from young ages, like 12. I mean, I was doing it too. We're using soaps that are harmful for our hormones. Your skin is like your biggest organ. So things go right through into your bloodstream. And then what you're putting into your body. Something that nourishes your body and nourishes your soul. But the problem is we've been conditioned to basically eat junk stuff that keeps us stuck, feeling stuck and craving more of this stuff that is causing more disease, causing more inflammation, causing more hormone issues. Now we're going to get to stress. Especially we as women, we are very prone to stress. So healing your cortisol levels, accepting that you need to let things go. You need to let go of control. Your cortisol levels are most likely through the roof and you're having hormonal issues because when your body is constantly making stress hormones, then the hormones it needs to function properly are not being made. It's going to prioritize the stress hormones. That gets us into healing trauma, and you're going to hear this a lot on my page because healing trauma goes along with everything. But as women, we have had so much trauma just as like a gender, and even your personal life trauma you're going to hold into your body, and that's going to present itself as like feminine issues that you see all over the world today that are so common. So ruptured ovarian cyst, all of these things that I was diagnosed with, I realized that I had the power to heal myself naturally. I do drink a lot of herbs like raspberry leaf tea. There's so many things out there. You just have to gain that knowledge. And also something I just read in a book I'm studying is all the stuff that you're reading and you're learning, you are basically re-remembering it because all of this information is truly inside you. We as women are so intuitive. We as women hold the knowledge and hold the power. And our menstrual cycle is actually a very sacred time, but we have been told to hide the messy parts of ourselves, to push them down deep, and that is also causing dis-ease. So honoring your body, knowing what you're putting on and in your body, changing your life, literally starting to go with the flow more. And I know that sounds so cliche, but as women, when so much are on us, we're constantly doing and going. And that brings me to another thing, is living with your cycle. Think of your period as your winter. This is a time that you really need to reflect and stay in and protect yourself, protect your energy, and rest. So often we are trying to keep up with men, but we are not men. You need to rest. And that is what your body is screaming at you. When you're having all of these issues, especially like period pains, your body is talking to you and telling you that your needs are not being met.
I just wanted to come on here really quick and say something that has been on my mind. And it's really triggering to talk about, but I think that we should really talk and address everything that's happening. I think that that's something that naturally happens to girls' bodies. We have to pay for these things. I think that is an abomination. I think that this is not fair. And I'm really sitting here thinking about it. And, it's just not okay that, these things happen to us naturally. And we have to pay to make sure that we don't mess things up. Do you ever think about that? And then you have the audacity to make these products fucking cotton. And my ancestors picked that shit for free. And y'all gonna make me pay for it now. I think that as women, we shouldn't have to pay for this shit to begin with. And then on top of that, black women should never ever have to pay for this stuff. Because they had us picking it for free, and now we gotta pay to stick it up and make sure. Why is it zooming in? All these different things. I think this is not fair. I don't know who to talk to. I don't know who to speak with. It's and then the things that they give out for free, it's for men. They give out free condoms like it's nothing. But you can't even give out a tampon or a freaking pad for free. I can't believe this. And then you give me a weird fucking number to begin with. Why am I paying $10 for 28 tampons? What are you guys even expecting me to do? I don't know who to talk to about this. But this is just not okay for
I love my period. Okay, maybe love is a strong word, but I don't hate it because I treat it like a mini pregnancy. I mean, cramps are mini contractions. I also love when my belly gets all bloated because it helps me lean further into the bit. Because I be cosplaying Nara Smith and Rihanna with my belly all out. On day 1 of my period, the same level of consideration, comfort, and care I would expect from others if I were actually pregnant is what I give myself. I relaxed under my pink heating blanket with my pink heating pad and my pink mug of tea. I mean, I typically run a minimum of 4 miles every Wednesday. I didn't do that today. I waddled around my apartment to get in some of my daily 10K steps before I got ready to go to work. So I may not be growing any tiny humans, but I am shedding the walls of the home of said tiny humans, so I will treat myself accordingly.
My cervical smear test results back. Need some advice. Because I tried to speak to my doctor, I rang the doctors, and they told me that I have to ring back on Monday at 8:30 for an appointment like everyone else. All I want to do is discuss these results because I have absolutely no idea what they mean. My results, I've passed the test. My first test I've ever passed in my stupid life, and it just so happened to be for the HPV positive, which is what they test for, and then obviously they test samples of abnormal cells to see if they've changed or something, and mine have changed. So they've booked me in for something called a colposcopy. Again, no, I don't know what that means, and I googled it, and I don't want to do it. That's what it looks like. Honestly, I haven't had this type of action since post-baby, and yeah, I got to do that for 20 minutes. 20 minutes? Yeah, I don't know if I can post this. I've been having a mental breakdown all morning. I think I've tried to video this 4 times, but I just can't. I basically just need advice because I can't speak to my doctor about it and I can't Google it. I mean, if I'm making this, oh my god. I don't even know why I'm getting so upset because I don't know what it means. I mean, the lady on the hospital line was kind of really reassuring. Kind of routine check or something, I don't know. But if you've been through this, could you give me some advice or something? I don't really know. I mean, the nice friendly pamphlet says it's painful, so I guess I know that much, but just kind of what your outcome was, because I'm getting really, like, overwhelmed. I don't know.